What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Friday night live stream. Hopefully, audio and video is working. Let me go ahead and get the other camera going. Tonight's special guest is the Barbatus tank. I feature this tank a lot on this stream or on the Friday night streams because it's one of my favorite tanks. This tank is my most favorite to watch, also to look at. It kind of reminds me of the edge of a river with the driftwood and the plants that are growing. And the Barbatus are always active, so it's very fun to watch. The first person in tonight's stream was Mystery Snail Guardians. Congratulations on being the first person here. Good to see you. Liquid Zoo, Skull Aquatics, Fish and Floral, Jupiter One, and Chevy Fish. Good to see you guys. Hopefully, audio video is good. I guess I did do a description on this video of, I guess, an update on the industry, and we're going to do an update on the fish industry. It is a fish channel. I do get sidetracked and do some updates on the automotive industry. So that's my day job, and some people are interested in all that. But I got an email, and I want to start off with the email. Let me pull it up, and it's from my wholesaler. And not that it really matters because I don't sell frozen foods, and this is, well, there's the drop. It's about frozen foods. But you guys, even though I don't sell frozen foods because it's nearly impossible to ship frozen food without using dry ice, and I'm not trying to get into all of that. But you could be buying frozen foods from your local store. I know, like Pet Supplies Plus, like Petco, a lot of them sell frozen foods, not only just mom and pop style shops. But here is the email I got. And this came to me on Wednesday. This is like an internal email that got sent through the wholesaler from, it must be from like their marketing team to their inventory specialist. And then the marketing team sent it out to me. And this is what it says. In case you guys haven't heard, the world of frozen freight is a mess right now. Our last 2 orders of Hikari Frozen are still stuck in an overflowing frozen freight terminal in New Jersey, with little hope of getting delivered in the next 2 weeks. The whole frozen product shipping system is so overburdened right now that San Francisco Bay brand can't even get our most recent order picked up, and now it's on an indefinite hold, waiting for the logistics jam to break. Fill rates on frozens are going from bad to worse for the foreseeable future. This could last through the end of the year. And that's pretty much it. And they update us as their wholesale clients to let us know it's not like a sales tactic like, oh, you better buy all of our frozen stuff right now. It's to let us know that, like, hey, in 2 more weeks, I might not be able to buy frozen foods. So letting us know as store owners, like, hey, like if you're going to order some and you're on the fence, you better order some. I order frozen food like a case at a time because it costs $150 every time I order frozen foods. So I order cases of it. More than I use. I sell some to my buddy Mike and to whoever else is local. If they're buying some orders, like, hey, you got any frozen bloodworms? Like, yeah, $4 or whatever it is. But I'm letting you guys know because if my wholesaler's having issues, everybody's having issues. And what I thought was kind of interesting is there's a frozen food warehouse in New Jersey that all this goes to. For some reason, I figured Hikari would just send it straight to the wholesalers with dry ice, just how the wholesalers send it to me. But apparently, Hikari sends it to a warehouse that's designed to be frozen that does frozen orders throughout the United States. I thought that was kind of cool. I never thought about it that way. So, if you've been watching the news, there's a lot of news off the not only West Coast, but East Coast of all these shipping container freight boats that are stuck waiting to be unloaded. Now that's kind of transferring into frozen food. So long story short, if you buy frozen and you're running low, I would go ahead and buy some now from your local store because it might not be available here soon. Liquid Zoo said, Jadron got starlights. I ordered 4 more. I may have an addiction. That's, yeah, I think he did a short on some starlights. But just so you know, the Starlight is not what I have. They're super awesome. They're similar, but that's not the Plecos I have. Where'd my chat go? Okay, I got my chat on this other screen now, so hopefully it's like closer to the camera so it looks better on the stream. I don't know. Trying to be fancy. My Aunt Kathy's here. Good to see you guys. Metalheads, good to see you. Both Metalheads. Rico Stan, good to see you. Jim said I'm in Philly, so I can go to Jersey and get some. You should go get a truckload of frozen food because it might be worth some money here soon. Look what Zoo said. Don't forget the thumbs up. That does help. Even a thumbs down, it still helps. What's awesome is a video, whether you thumbs up or thumbs down, whether you leave a positive comment or negative comment, it all helps the channel. So you get those trolls that thumbs down your video, think they're doing something bad against your channel, it actually helps you. A thumbs down is better than nothing at all. IHSP, good to see you. Chattanooga Ed, good to see you. So yeah, so the Barbatus tank, I'll talk about that for a minute. The crypt is going pretty crazy in it right now. So the crypt is on the right side. It's very dark. It's a bronze. A Crypt Wendetti bronze is the variant. It's very purple. I would say it's maybe a cross between a red and bronze because it's super dark. But we can't tell because the lighting is horrible for whatever reason. Like I'm using my phone for this video, and on the phone it looks great, but it's not translating through the StreamYard very well. But the Barbatus have been breeding pretty much nonstop since they went into this tank. They've been in this tank now for, I feel like, a couple months now. It's been nonstop. I pull eggs probably every 4 to 5 days is how often I'm getting eggs out of there. I think they're actually breeding more often than that, but there's 3 pairs. I think what's happening is one pair is laying eggs on the glass for sure. Another pair is laying the eggs on the filter inlet tube. And then the third pair also lays on the glass, but I think the male is eating the other eggs if I don't catch them quick enough. And typically I have to catch the eggs within a half an hour of them being laid, or they disappear overnight. They get eaten by the Barbatus. But they're breeding pretty strong. The issue I have with them is I'm hatching the fry. It just takes forever for these fry to grow. They're the slowest growing. They're like rainbows. They take forever to put on size. Even the one, my last batch that I held back, the guy that I showed that's in the CPD tank, he might be a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch long, but he's probably a good 6 months old at least. It just takes forever. But speaking of fry and growing, the fry food is back on the website. I made 12 to 15 bottles worth of it. I'm not sure how many I sold. Just a handful of them have sold so far, but they are on the website, and it is version 2. I added some extra ingredients for the better, so give it a try if you will, and let me know what you think. But the new round of those have been shipping out over the past week and a half, I believe. So yeah, excited for that to be back in stock. Get off that page. All right, so what's up new with you guys this week? Chattanooga Ed had I think it was a short of a beta this week that I was just cracking up with the music. It was awesome. I need to start watching more short clips because sometimes it's good to see, 30 seconds of something. Oh, I got a super chat. IHSP, thank you so much for the 614 super chat. She sent a bunch of hearts. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Liquid Zoo said, I can share. I forgot I can share these chats. Let me get to it. I got some of that cool fry food and more 614 tabs, as well as my shrimp from you yesterday. Yeah, so look what do. I kind of forgot about that order. I was dealing with a separate order issue off of eBay this week. Um, the Liquid Zoo bought Blue Dreams, root tabs, and some other stuff in the fry food. So let me know how you like that fry food. I just saw a comment. I'll have to get to it here in a second. We're dyeing the Mister's beard again. Hopefully this round sticks. Are you dyeing it like a crazy color, or just when you say when you're in the fish tube community, you say you're dyeing the beard? I'm thinking of Chattanooga Ed. Jim said picked up 8 panacories this week to grow out and hopefully breed. Any tips? I've never bred panda cories. Um, it's just about getting size on them. So get them to a breeding size and age. I'm not sure if size is more specific than age. Some plecos could be like, let's say, super reds. It's more of an age thing than size, because my original breeding group of super reds, they were monster super reds. They must have been 5 years old and they were super healthy. The ones that are breeding in this tank are tiny and they're only a year old, year and a half old, maybe. So, like, they breed super young. So, I'm not sure the age that pandas breed at, but I would just try to bulk them up, especially females. The more weight that pretty much any fish you have, the better they're going to go through breeding. But I found with cories, the way, there's always a way to condition fish, um, feed them regularly, and then if a lot of fish just breed and you don't have to really do anything. The Barbatus right now, when I first got them, I had to basically kind of trigger them, but now they just kind of breed all the time. But my trigger for the Barbatus was do a water change, and they're cold water. I don't heat their tank, so they're whatever room temperature is, like 68 degrees to 70. Right now, my AC is not super cold, so they might be somewhere around 70, 71 degrees. Come wintertime, their tank's going to drop probably to 68. But the way I was conditioning them to get them really going was feeding them the normal tetracolor is what I feed like every single tank. But then I started feeding them frozen bloodworms, and I started packing them full of frozen bloodworms, and then doing like 30% water changes a day. And that supposedly is what is triggering them to think that there's like a rainstorm. And the reason that works is with the rainstorm, there's a lot of silt and stuff kicked up, a lot of nutrients in the water. If riverbanks flood, they might have extra food coming from the riverbanks, and that's supposed to be the trigger. Like, hey, there's a ton of food here, let's breed. So that's what I did with the Barbatus, and it worked. It was just started feeding them frozen bloodworms and doing water changes. Now they breed without doing any of that. I just feed them, and they're happy. Like I said, with pandas, I never bred pandas. I can't imagine they're much different than like emeralds or albinos. Just get some size on them and feed them quality food. If you're feeding, like, let's just say the tetracolor every day, add in some sort of extra premium food of, I like frozen bloodworms. I think it's super easy. I buy the blister packs through Hikari, through like my wholesaler, but you can get them from your local pet store. I just pop a cube off into each tank. And I usually do all the tanks, like even if I'm focusing on one tank for breeding, like the rainbows, I was doing it heavily. I still feed all the tanks the frozen food. So yeah, that's my recommendation, is just get some size on them and feed them really well. And if you know their breeding age and size and they're not doing it, cut back on your food for a couple weeks. So if you feed, let's say, twice a day, cut back to once a day, and then maybe even cut back to every other day and spread that out. So you're conditioning them that there's not a whole lot of food. And there's some things where I'll feed them like every 3 days and they do fine. Spread that out, thin out their feeding so they think there's not a bunch of food, and then start hitting them every single day with food, and then that will help trigger them too. Fish said, "I'm out of pretty much all frozen food except bloodworms. Luckily, my last case." So when you think of a case, it's like a dozen bloodworms, a dozen mysis shrimp, a dozen brine shrimp, a dozen baby brine shrimp, and then another dozen of bloodworms because there's two sizes of bloodworms. So typically I believe it's 4, maybe 5 dozen in a case is what I go through each order. Rico Stan said, "Just bought a bunch of different frozen foods from Ken's Fish. Thanks for the heads up." Yeah, I would. If anybody does feed frozen, this would be the time to get it. Sorry, the chat on that. It's kind of slow. Let me go back to this chat. Chevy Fish dropped the link to the website. Thank you so much. 614fish.com. Black and orange for Harley colors. Long story, but it's what our viewers requested at 100 subs. How does orange... I'd be curious to see how orange does in his beard. Because sometimes, like, when somebody tries to dye their hair orange, it comes out, like, not orange. Like, pea color. Hopefully it comes out orange. I think I'm getting high on fumes right now. So you're dyeing it right now. Well, hopefully it comes out. There's some comments I could definitely run away with, but I'll leave them be. All right, I think I'm catching up. Von Yinzer's here. Good to see you, Von Yinzer. Said checking in via mobile from work. Well, hopefully you don't have too much time left at work. I forget it's a little bit earlier. It's 8:15, but I just dumped beer in it. Well, that's probably not going to help the orange colored case. Liquid Zoo said, "I'm working to behave. I got scolded by Chevy. They should know me better by now." Yes. Espresso's done, ready to stay up with Steven till midnight. Not me, Steven. Different Steven. Oh, Tiffany White's here. Good to see you, Tiffany. Hope all is well. Sure you're doing well, being a realtor in this market. I'm supposed to get, speaking of realtors or housing market, I believe 2 weeks or 3 weeks is when they're trying to do my roof. I can't remember if he said the week after next or like a week after next week. 2 weeks after next week. But yep, 3 more weeks. And man, I had the itch earlier in the week I really wanted to build the bigger tank. Like, I don't know what size, like 1,000 gallon. I saw the glass in there. I'm like, I really want to build it. I'm trying to hold off to figure out this whole housing market right now. The roof is step one, and that's hopefully in a few weeks. But looking for a new house just is crazy. The pricing for everything is, I mean, it's great for me, but it's also horrible for when I sell and gotta buy something else. I'm just trying to bait if I want to sacrifice drive time, because to get in the price range I want, I'm looking at like a 45-minute drive to work. And I currently have a 5-minute drive to work. So that's huge. like a substantial difference. I did find like 4 acres. That was kind of what I was looking for. Like the house needed updated really bad. Like nothing was wrong with the house. It was just really old, interior wise. Like it was definitely 70s and 80s the last time somebody did something in the house. Um, the price is where I want to be, but it's 45-minute drive. And that was with Google Maps. So that doesn't really take into account like traffic at that, like in the mornings. I need to try Google it in the morning to see what it would actually be. But Lady Melhood said from 5 to 45 is rough. Yeah. Patty's Petite Tank says, do the commute. 45 minutes isn't bad. You can listen to fish streams. So let's talk about listening to stuff. I want to know what you guys do. Any of you guys listen to podcasts? And what I want to know is, if you do, what do you listen to outside of fish? So a lot of times what I would do, like driving to Ohio Fish Rescue, we'll keep it fish related, is I would listen to the co-ops, like live stream. I would just play it like YouTube through the truck and listen to the live stream as I drove. And then I downloaded the podcast app, and one of my favorite celebrities is Mike Rowe. If you watch like TV, he did Dirty Jobs. I think he's an awesome person. I love what he does with his scholarship work. He has a foundation. I think it's the Mike Rowe Foundation, where they do scholarships for trade jobs. So it's people that are not doing the normal like college route. They want to be in the trade. So maybe like an automotive technician, a welder, things like that. Not the normal 4-year college stuff. Well, they do scholarships for that. Well, anyways, he's got a podcast that I listen to. It's awesome. I love it. Oh my God, Steven, no. Okay. Maybe you were talking to the other Steven, because I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Your poor kid's in night school now. Kim and Tyler Shaw came over from OFR watching stream and your other videos. Man, glad to be here. Good to have you here, Kim and Tyler. All right, so let me get back to the chat. Well, anyways, podcast. So I listened to his podcast. I don't know if it's like once a week he releases, because I'm still catching up on all of his old ones. But what I like about him, in case you are interested in listening to him, he does his name of his podcast is called The Way I Heard It, and he tells these stories the way he heard it, and it's kind of educational, in a sense. So he might talk about, he does this story, and he's a great narrator too. And he might do the story talking on and on, and he doesn't tell you who he's talking about. Let's say he's talking about Abraham Lincoln. I'm just throwing somebody out there. And like he might be telling the story about him as a kid and like what he did or something. And you don't know who he's talking about until the very end. And he might be like, and his name was Abraham Lincoln or whatever. But it's really interesting on some of these stories he has. And the original podcast, I'm not sure how many episodes. It's like 150 of them. It's just those stories. They might be like 5 minutes long or 7 minutes long. And then he switched to these like hour-long ones where he does the story, which still is only like 7 minutes long. And then at the end, he does an interview of somebody somehow related to that story or whatever. And I don't know, it's just good. But 45 squirrel, the whole point of all that was 45-minute drive. It'd be cool to listen to some podcasts. I just don't have, that's the only one I listen to. I need some advice on who to listen to. IHSP says, love Mike Rowe too. Yeah, I think he's awesome. And they rebooted Dirty Jobs. So I'm super excited for that to come back out. Okay, I'm trying to catch up. Now would be a great time for you to become a member of Steven's channel. If you aren't already, you can save 15% on his website. And there's the link. So your membership pays for itself. Easy peasy. That is true. Members get 15% off on their entire order whenever they place one. There's a discount code that goes out every month to the members. And the reason that was the easiest way was to basically prevent somebody. The memberships, by the way, it's $5. Spend $5, and I didn't want somebody to have a membership for like a month and then use the discount code for a year. So every month it changes. So yeah, but every month I try to do some random code. Sometimes it's a member's name. I've done that, I'm pretty sure, a couple times, but yeah. He narrates how the universe works. If it wasn't for Mike Rowe, that show wouldn't be as good. I've actually never seen it. I'll have to check it out. I'm just excited for Dirty Jobs. That show was out when I was in high school, and I thought it was an awesome show. I thought it was funny and pretty educational, but it was hilarious. Him doing some of the jobs. Some of those dirty jobs were stomach churning. Some of those jobs, to be honest, like, I could put up with a lot of crap. I've seen a lot of crap in cars. Some people's cars are disgusting. Let's be honest. Luckily, with German cars, people take care of their cars pretty well. I've seen on like some mechanic pages like some really nasty cars. Luckily, I haven't had anything super crazy. The worst, like, I typically get are dog people. I'm a dog person. Like, I have dogs. I take my dogs to a lot of places. But the worst is, like, you get a dog person that they take their dog like somewhere every day, but they never clean their car, and you get like a layer of dog hair like on the carpet, like trim panels. It's like all the German cars, they're all leather. You got leather seats and stuff, but like your trunk SUVs, the trunks are carpet. You get like a layer of dog hair. Not only is like that disgusting, but it's the smell. That I understand they probably don't notice it because they're around it every single day, and maybe my dogs stink. I don't know. I don't smell them, but when you get in a car, oh, that's the worst. The dog smell is horrific. Yeah. Uncle Steve's neighborhood garage. Good to see you. It says it's raining again. I let the dogs out not too long ago. It wasn't raining up here, but who knows? Stop judging me. So you're one of those people. No. Um, I've only had, I think, two cars I ever refused to get into. One was a dog hair car that was beyond, like, you guys can't imagine. It had so much dog hair in it you couldn't tell what color the carpet was. It was like that bad, and it just, like, it was nasty. I was like, nope, not getting in it. And the other one was a car that, I don't know if it was just a random time of the year, if it was after like Halloween, because like, so in Ohio, like, OSU has a big Halloween party, but Ohio University has the biggest Halloween party like ever, and I think it's like one of the nation's biggest college Halloween parties. Like, it's in the national news, I'm pretty sure. And there's a ranking; they're always like at the top. I think it was like shortly after like one of those, but the car was covered in vomit on the inside of the car. And I don't remember why the car came in, what it was there for, if it was there for something not working or what, but nope. Like, I believe we told the foreman that it was a hazmat situation. No one was getting in that car. It was horrible. Um, yeah. Zen Ginger. Come on, y'all. Seriously, had one job. Just tap the damn thumbs up already. Please, thank you. Cleaned the wife's yesterday. My truck 2 weeks ago. Truck needed it badly already. I need to like vacuum the truck. Charlotte is horrible at shedding. Havana doesn't really shed. Maybe like once or twice a year for like a day, you can kind of like pluck some hair out of her, but that's about it. Like as far as like looking around the house, you never would know I had her. Charlotte, on the other hand, sheds like nonstop. I guess it could be worse. It could be like husky shedding, but it's nonstop, and it's the white little short hair. And I've always, ever since I got leather, I will never go back to not having leather, and it's because of the dogs. Dog hair on leather, you can vacuum it up, easy peasy. You can even take like a wet wipe and wipe it up. When you have fabric cloth seats and that short dog hair, it's like needles and gets stuck in the fabric, and it's a pain to get out. Um, Sometimes with the carpet too, but luckily it's not the seats. But I need to clean the truck out. It really just needs vacuumed. There's a lot of like gravel pebbles. So they're building our new warehouse shop, and it's all gravel and dirt around it right now. So that's just getting tracked into the truck. Um, but yeah, any plans to attend the GCAS swap on the 30th? Honestly, I'll have to check. I'm As of right now, I'm not planning on attending it because I just now found out about it. So I'll have to check to see what I'm doing on the 30th. What day is the 30th? It's a Saturday. So I'll be honest, I think I'm working that 30th. So not this weekend. Next weekend is my little cousin's wedding. I think that's the 16th. The following week, I'll be in Michigan for some training for work. And then I think I worked at the 30th, which that sucks because I missed the Keystone Clash because I had to work. And now I have to work on the next swap. So probably not going. I wouldn't mind going. I haven't been to a fish swap in a while, so that'd be kind of cool to go to. Chattanooga asked, was it bad barf or was it beer barf? I don't want to get graphic. I would say it's more beer barf. Dog hair on leather is better, but cat claws on leather, not so much. I don't have cats. I don't really have to worry about it. Mellowhead said, got one right now. Smells like feet, urine, and soiled underwear all at once. Didn't know that was possible, and it's currently being aired out before I put my head anywhere near the inside. Yeah, luckily, I haven't had any bad ones. So both my worst ones were at BMW, and both those cars, well, not the barf one, but the car that was just so stinky was such an old car. It probably shouldn't have been at the dealer anyways. Yeah. Dang on work, always screwing everything up. That is true. I shipped some fish, included free dog hair. Um, I got free dog hair from Mike, my rainbow breeder. He was netting out a bunch of rainbows and brought them over here for me. Saw on the website. This was whenever the last time I got rainbows from him. He's like, "Yep, you got some dog hair with him too." His dogs are awesome. He's got 2 black labs. He's a hunter. He does like ducks, and he's a bird hunter. I guess I should clarify. So he's trains his dogs to do his duck hunting stuff. But Thunder and Storm are their names. All right, I think Mike Rose literally put up with a lot of crap. I can only imagine like when he did the like septic tanks and stuff like that. I cannot go inside of a septic tank. No, no way. Absolutely not. Oh, so let's squirrel back to a fish topic. These Barbatus cories. So I kept them before they went to this tank, they were on gravel. And, everybody said to keep cories in general on sand because of the little barbels, their little whiskers, because they can get damaged on gravel. I don't really find that to be the case. I kept these on gravel and they're fine. But here's what I can tell you fact. These fish want to be on sand 100%. Don't keep them on gravel because, and I just now noticed them, but they go through and they sift through the sand. With the gravel, they kind of pick at it, but you can tell just by watching that they thoroughly enjoy being on sand way more. I'm sure it's way more natural for them to be on sand anyways with the riverbanks, but watching them root through the sand it's fun to watch too. The downside is they keep uprooting my dwarf hairgrass. So if you look right in the center where the driftwood is, there's a pot of dwarf hairgrass. That's a pot that you go on the website and buy it. That's what you're getting right there. The other two pots, I have 3 pots. The other 2, I took out and planted them. I was like, all right, let's at least let them grow until they sell. Well, the far right corner, just on this side of the driftwood, is some dwarf hairgrass. Well, it was the same amount that's in the pot. The rest of it's floating at the surface right now because they uprooted it. So that's kind of negative. Right in the center of the video that's dwarf sagittaria. I sell that on the website. And at first it looks like they uprooted one right in the center. There's like a rock pile and you can kind of see some roots. That's actually a baby plant. So dwarf sagittaria is a runner plant. It sends off a runner. New plant pops up. That's a runner that had popped up that wasn't rooted. Because if they uproot it, it would floated to the top. But so that's a little baby plant I need to push down to the sand. But that's also on the website. So if you're looking for dwarf sagittaria, that's what's in the direct center of the screen. I'm trying to use it to kind of carp it out and just add some green to the foreground, because the green in the background is really only the Anubias, because the Wendetti is just super dark. I'm telling you, it's purple. It's really dark. Get back to the comments. Rocco's Fish Room, good to see you. Okay, I think one of my German Shepherd is part Husky, mostly Husky. It's Harapalooza. I can only imagine that. My buddy's got a Husky, and when he brought at my old house I lived at with my roommates, we had a pool with a deck around it. I just remember he brought the Husky over one summer and it was running around. And like when they left and like everybody left and we used to play pool volleyball all the time, the deck was covered. I mean, covered in hair. I was like, I couldn't deal with that. Like, there's no way you could have a Husky and have carpet floors because you'd be vacuuming every single day. You would have to get one of those, like, make sure you have hardwood floors and get one of those, like, little robot vacuums. So that way it just vacuums nonstop. Just stop vacuuming and it will eventually be an exotic carpet. All right, I think I'm catching up. All of us fish people should just quit our jobs and move to a huge fish compound. I thought it'd be cool. I remember a year, 2 years ago, talking to Josh from Ohio Fish Rescue when they were talking about buying some land. And I said, we should just buy like 200 acres and think of all the koi ponds and all the shenanigans that could happen on 200 acres. It'd be awesome. All right. Catching up. Oh, hey, Mike. Mike, I don't know if you just got here, but I was talking about you earlier and your dogs. Talking about your dog hair in the rainbow fish bag. And yeah, talking about storm and thunder. All right, so I think I'm caught up. Barry, good to see you. All right, I'm out of topics. I just want to really tell you guys about the whole frozen food thing, that shortage. So just to recap, if you use frozen food, go get it now because they said by the end of the year there might not be frozen food because of logistics. So I would just don't go crazy. Don't do the whole toilet paper thing where you go out and buy a case of it. If you use 1 pack of frozen food a month, buy 2 packs this time or 3 packs. But yeah, as I go to look away, I catch Liquid Zoo. Let's talk about that big piece of wood. We'll just set this. We'll just set it back here. Put it back with the Vienna guppies. And what's crazy, Matt, is there's 2 more of these out in the garage. I should go get those for next stream, and we'll stack them up in the background just for you. The dye is coming out now. I hope it works better this time. I'm still curious about the orange dye. We'll see. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? We go through 3 to 5 lunch boxes of frozen food a month. Lunchbox. What's the lunchbox of frozen food? All right, I think I am caught up for sure. Okay. What you should do is my next order, throw in some big wood. Wait, OFR Josh got married. I have no idea. I haven't talked to Josh. It's been a few weeks, but last time I talked to him, he wasn't married. I'm trying to think when was the last time I talked to him? It's been at least a few weeks. It's like a PetSmart. Hang on, let me highlight that. It's PetSmart bulk box of frozen bloodworms brine shrimp. Does PetSmart do like a combined thing? Because I didn't know if they did that. That's kind of cool. I wish I had a bigger freezer. I'd buy a case. So yeah, I looked into, how they have the mini fridges. I was trying to find a mini freezer, and I know they sell them because aquarium stores have, a little bit bigger mini freezers to display it. They obviously get those directly from the manufacturer, like Hikari or San Francisco Bay brands, something like that. I was trying to find a little mini one, and most of them they're cheap. I'm not trying to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a mini freezer, but most of them were like, I was reading what people's temperatures were, and they were like, yeah, it gets down to like 33 degrees. I'm like, that's not a freezer. That's above freezing. But yeah. Okay, back. So I have a small freezer about the size of 2 mini fridges wide. Got it at Hy-Vee grocery store, $150. I knew about his girlfriend because I hung out with her, but was confused about the marriage thing. Yeah, I think he was just saying, where'd he go? My chat jumped. Jupiter once said, fake news, but he's got a girlfriend. Reaper seems to be taking over. I'm sure Josh has been putting more time. I can't blame him. I'm the same way right now because I've noticed I haven't done a whole lot of any videos really lately. Your interests kind of change. I'm sure it's the same with Josh. He's at that age to get married. I'm not saying he's getting married or anything like that, but he is at that age, so I can see why his interest would be somewhere else right now. I'll be honest, I haven't really watched anybody's YouTube channel. OFRs, the co-ops, anybody's. I just haven't really been on YouTube. Just so you guys know, because I ran into this with Matt, which it should be fixed now. I got rid of Facebook like a week ago. And what I didn't realize was I didn't want to get rid of Messenger, but it like turned off my notifications to Messenger, and Matt had sent me messages through Messenger. But that's turned back on. So if anybody talks to me through Messenger, it still works. But I got rid of Facebook, and the main reason, because I get questions about that, even from family members. The problem was like you get slow at work. I don't have my phone to like demonstrate. Let's say you get slow at work, you pull out your phone, you get on Facebook, and then you get distracted with that. So I don't know if it's on all phones, but on my iPhone, like once a week, it tells you like your screen time, like, hey, you were on your phone for the past 7 days, let's say 12 hours. And they'll say like 8 hours that was Facebook, an hour that was YouTube, whatever. And I got that, and it just like something sank in where I'm like, man, I'm on Facebook way too much. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just get off Facebook because like if you need to contact me, you can contact me through my cell phone, through Messenger. But so yeah, I mean I didn't like delete the whole account. I deactivated it, but I deleted the app. So if I need to get on Facebook, I guess I can get onto it through the desktop. But other than that, like I feel like Facebook is just like a bunch of crazy news posts that might be true, might not be true, who knows. But the downside is I know pretty much all marketing for any kind of event, whether it's fish related, car related, any kind of hobby related, pretty much everything's marketed through Facebook. So I know I'll probably have to at least get on Facebook through my desktop on the weekend or something. But yeah, so look, Barbatus right now, if you're looking on the screen, dig in the sand by the rocks. They love doing that, I'm telling you. You got corydoras on gravel, get rid of it, get sand. They're much more happy, and they're much more fun to watch too. Great, now fish keepers are going to buy up all the freezers. So the thing is, I guess I don't really know. I was going to say like frozen foods. Like think of all the frozen products in grocery stores, but I'm assuming that those are all kept within the grocery store's own brand terminals. So like Kroger, Giant Eagle, I don't know, like is it Lion Foods down south? What's Lion something? I don't know if it's like Myrtle Beach or Florida. I forget. One of the vacations went on there. Lion something Lion. I'm sure they have their own freezer. Food Lion. IHSP says Food Lion. I'm sure they have their own freezer systems. I'm guessing the whole frozen New Jersey warehouse is for like this stuff, frozen foods that are sold on like online, fish foods. I'm trying to think what other kind of products would be frozen that you would send through like a distributor. I mean, guess medications and stuff. Like there's probably certain stuff that has to be frozen. I don't know. But Liquid Zoo said $150 for a 3.5 cubic foot freezer. Yeah, I mean, because currently my freezer, like half of it's filled with fish food. I have one of those like low, like bottom freezers. So the top half of my fridge is a refrigerator, and the bottom half is the freezer. Which I like that better than like I don't like the two doors. I don't know. I like having more refrigerator space than I do freezer space. But until you fill it up with fish food, now I wish I had a bigger freezer. 5 cubic feet is only $20 more. See, I feel like I'd end up paying the $20 extra and just get the bigger freezer. And I would use it because my coworker, who's actually leaving this weekend, I don't know if he's leaving tonight or tomorrow, goes once a year to New York and does salmon fishing. And he sells full salmon fillets for like, he does a bag, like a gallon bag of those packed. And I think it's like $3 a bag, $3 or $5. Even at $5 for a gallon bag full of salmon is stupid cheap. So what he does is there's a bunch of them. I don't say a bunch. Maybe there's 5 of them. I'm not sure. All of his buddies from here, they drive with a camper to wherever they go in New York, and they have a campsite for a week, and they sell gallon bags of salmon for $5, and then they always sell like a ton of it because it's a sweet deal. But they use that money to pay for their trip. So basically, that's a vacation for them. So they're basically getting their vacation paid for, and then they keep salmon and they deep freeze it for all year. But he's the one that also deer hunts, and he'll get the deer process. I don't know how many he gets a year, maybe 3 to 5. I don't know what the limits are or what, but he'll get deer and process the like summer sausage. That's really good, and he'll bring that into work and kind of share it with everybody. It's really good. Liquid Zoo said you can also contact him at sales@614fish.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me is sales@614fish.com. That email, I check that pretty much more often than Messenger and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, that is the best way. I might check Messenger once a day, where email I check pretty often. Just between like the business, personal, and work email, all 3 accounts go to my cell phone. So IHSB says, holy crap, haven't heard of giant eagle in years. Wow. FYI, locals call them Big Bird. So giant eagle, they weren't always around here. So originally it was Kroger and Big Bear. So you said Big Bird, we had Big Bear. Those were the 2 grocery stores that were around here. Big Bear went out of business. I don't even remember when that was. Late 90s, probably early 2000s, somewhere around there. They went out of business, and basically Giant Eagle came in. I like Giant Eagle. I've honestly only been there a couple times. It was super nice, but there's just not one close to me. I'm a block and a half from Kroger, so the end of my block is a main road, and Kroger's right there across the street. So really, a block away is Kroger. There's other grocery stores. There's Meijer. I don't know if anybody has a Meijer around them. Meijer. They're a grocery store / it's kind of like a Walmart. Like a superstore. I always, like, growing up, I always thought Meijer more of a clothing store or like superstore than a grocery store, but they do have groceries. It's basically like a Walmart. It's basically Meijer. I would rather go Meijer than Walmart any day of the week, though, for sure. The Giant Eagle I knew closed about 2 years before we moved away from back home, and Save a Lot moved in. Yeah, there's some Save a Lots here, but they're not. Save a Lots are kind of in like the less ritzy parts of town. That makes sense. Meijer is local here. It's like a Kmart. I don't think we have any Kmarts anymore. We used to have Kmart. I actually had a lot of good memories at Kmart, not at the store, but at their parking lot. Back in high school, when I first got into cars, that's where all the cars met up on the weekend, was the Kmart. There was one Kmart that held on for a really long time around here. Well, I guess it's still there. Big Kmart. I haven't been to a Kmart in 20 years. I was 16. All right, less than 20 years. I was 16 the last time I went to a Kmart, and that's when the car meets were there. And eventually they got kicked out. You couldn't have car meets there. But yeah. The Kmart became a motorcycle store. So think of how big a Kmart is, or like a superstore like that. There's a motorcycle store here called Iron Pony. They say they're like the largest motorcycle accessory store like in the country or the world. It's a huge building. They start off with this little shop, like the size of my house. And then they started getting popular, and then they went to like a bigger building, and then they end up buying a Kmart. And they sell, motorcycle jackets, all the parts you can ever want, boots, hats. But they actually became a dealer, so they sell like Yamaha, Suzuki, Indian, I think Honda, Can-Am. I don't think they sell Harley, but yeah. 7 minutes left. Get your fish questions in now. Yep. And then I'll have to leave because the game tonight is at 9:30. Super illegal to buy, sell wild-caught fish or game. Maybe they're giving us salmon and we're donating money for their fuel. But yeah, so the salmon that I was talking about, it's like some sort of salmon run that they can only do once a year. So I don't know if, like, per New York state laws, this week, I don't know if it's the same week every single year that they're allowed to go and fish, or it depends on like the salmon runs. I don't know how that works. They sell quads and stuff too, don't they? Yes, they do. That was their main thing. They sold 4-wheelers and dirt bikes, and then they got into like street motorcycles. How big are those cats? The catfish? If you're talking about the Barbatus, oh wait, we're still on. Sorry, I just realized the chat was still not updated. How big are those cats? If you're talking about the Barbatus, they're probably 3 inches. We'll say about 3 inches. The male, if you see right in the top of the screen right now, up in the Nubius, their wingspan is easily the length of their body. When he's got his, you see his fins, they're 3 inches wide. It's crazy. The finnage on that guy is nuts. But there's a female. Looks like 2 females, but the males have the crazy finnage. They look huge. So Barbatus cories, I guess, can get up to 4 inches. They're all of 3 inches for sure. Let me get something I can look at, and I'll make sure. Yeah, I say they're 3 inches. So supposedly they get bigger, but I've had them for quite a while, so I don't know how much bigger they're going to get. The guy that's kind of top right now, that's the guy that has like the crazy spine. If you saw the video, I uploaded of moving them from the 10-gallon. When I caught him, he kind of had a weird spine, but you can see he's doing A-okay. In the video, it might kind of skew it because the tank is kind of angled away from the camera, so it might skew looking through the glass. But the males they're beasts. They really are. Stop talking. I'm not going to have a house to put all the tanks in if I keep buying fish. Yeah, that's how I end up with a fish room. I really need to split the blue dreams off and get more of those, because I'm catching those blue dreams. I'm like, man, there's actually quite a few babies in here, like microscopic baby shrimp. I'm like, I really need to split these off and get more colonies going. But yeah. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up the live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I think I got to the end of the chat, so I think we're good. If you have any questions outside the chat, go ahead and email me, sales@614fish.com. If you become a member for $5 a month, you get 15% off every single order through the website. So if you're thinking about placing an order, you will get some 614 fry food. Become a member first, and you'll get 15% off that order. Save you some money. But close that. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next Friday. Next Friday should be a full hour live stream. I'll confirm that tonight. But yeah. And thanks for the super chats. I appreciate it. But I'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good weekend.